Hey everyone, Chris here. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, as most of you might know, I purchased myself a new vehicle. Well, hold on, new vehicle. It's a 2015 Ford F-150, and I traded in my '05 Chevy Colorado. So, for the most part, the F-150 is leaps and bounds a hell of a lot better than the Colorado was. A lot more features, a lot more bang for my buck. But one thing that the Colorado had and the F-150 did not have was a remote starter. So I wanted to make sure that I got a remote starter into the new truck before winter actually came. And it's mid-October, it's unseasonably warm, so there hasn't been a rush, but I know the cold weather is coming, so I wanted to make it a priority to get the remote starter. I did some research on YouTube, just like instructional videos, because I really wanted to have a more hands-on approach with this truck, so I wanted to do it myself instead of taking it somewhere to be done. Previously, with the vehicle I had in the past, I brought it to Best Buy to put a starter in it, and it was horrible. It was the kind of starter that sent the signal once, and it was kind of hit and miss whether the vehicle actually turned on or not. The Colorado had a starter that sent the signal, I think, 3 times. You sent it once. If it didn't get a signal that the car started or the truck started, it sent it again. It did it up to 3 times, so that was a lot better. So I definitely wanted to get a good starter. Like I said, I wanted to be more hands-on. I wanted to install it myself, so I started looking up instructional videos. And I saw videos where they're pulling the column off, pulling the dash out, to do all the special wiring to get the starter in place. I'm like, whoa, I think that's way too much for me. I think more than I can, I'd be biting off more than I can chew. So, but in that whole process of looking for starters and looking for instructional videos, I stumbled across a company called 12 Volt Solutions. And here's the starter that I got from them. So this is promoted as a plug-and-play type starter, and you can be installed within 30 seconds. Now I'm going to do this, I'm going to be recording it, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But based on what I've seen, this is incredibly easy. And one of the benefits is, instead of having an extra fob just for the starter, I can use the existing fob that came with the truck to actually start the vehicle up. So let's go ahead, let's open this up. We'll take a look at everything that comes in the kit first, and then we'll hop outside and actually get this installed in the truck. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look inside the package, and I've already broke the seal, so we can just open it up easily. And what I have to warn you about, I'm not sure if it's just mine or if it's everybody's, and this is in no way a dig against the product, but I think they might have these stored in like a basement somewhere, basement of a building, because once I opened this up, I just got this odor, reached up and punched me in the face. And I'm like, I know that smell. That smells like my basement. So I think that these are stored somewhere in a basement. So just a heads up, you might get that odor if you get this product. So let's take a look inside. Pull that out. So this is the actual starter module. Get that out of the package. Side. We also get this clear baggie. So this is the cables needed for the installation. They included a handful of twist ties, so we can easily strap this down and out of the way. And then we have various instructions and paperwork. Okay, so underneath the steering wheel in the dash, we have this connector right here. It's called the OBD2 connector. And in the back, there's something that we're going to unpeg or unclip. There we go. Now we're going to take our wiring, or it's the harness. We're going to take, looks like we're going to take this part the female end. We're going to plug that right in there. And then we take the male end, we just plug this right back in. They make it look so easy in their videos, but I've never had to be behind here before, so it's struggling a little bit just finding the right location. There it is. Alright, once you find the slot or the connector, just give it a good push, make sure it's nice and firm. So the harness actually has a switch here. This switch was not on the harness that was used in their installation video. So I'm guessing this is either a new harness that can be used for multiple products, and that's why it wasn't included. So it says on off, so I'm guessing we want to switch that to on. We're going to grab this module and look, there's going to be a button here and the light there. So we're going to hold down the button and then take the blue connector. Let's go ahead and plug that in. Lights up orange. Go ahead and let go of that button, and then it switches to red. Alright, so once the module is red, we're going to take our key, we're going to turn the ignition on. We'll flash green, go back to red, and then go back to a steady green. At that point we should be done, so we can go ahead and take the key out of ignition and let's go ahead and test it. We're going to test it by pressing the lock key 3 times. And there you have it. The engine has started, so now what we can do is we can zip tie that module out of the way, because realistically we should not need to access this ever again. Alright, so I'm sorry about the quality of the video here. My camera's not that great and it's really kind of picking up a lot of haze off of the lights. But anyhow, I wanted to show you the menu that's added to the cluster with this remote starter. So we're going to go ahead, go to the main menu, and let's go down to settings, and then vehicle. And now where I did not have this before, I have the remote start option. So I can come in here, I can set my climate controls. So I can have it set to auto, and it's my understanding if you had it set to auto, depending on the temperature, it's going to automatically heat or cool the interior of your vehicle to 70 degrees. We also have the option of doing last setting. So if I turn the vehicle off and I have the defrosters on, those will kick on when I start the vehicle. So I'm actually going to set that, because that's very important here, up here in New England, when there's a lot of snow and ice on the windshield, that I want those defrosters on. Go back, we can change the duration. So it looks like by default it's set for 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set for 15 minutes. This one where it says system has a little checkbox. So if that is unchecked, that means the remote start is turned off. So you definitely want to make sure that is checked. Okay, so installation itself wasn't necessarily difficult. It didn't go perfectly for me, but it's not to say it's the fault of the product. It was really just me. When you have to unplug the wire from the OBD2 connector, plug in the harness, you really need to make sure that's in there nice and tight, all the way in and secure. The first time I did it, I thought I had it correctly in place, but my entire cluster was blank, so it wasn't connected all the way. So I pushed that in. I ran into a couple different snags just because I didn't have the instructions right in front of me. I had to pause the video, check the installation video, and come back to you. And in the process of doing that, I noticed there was one segment of the video where I forgot to turn the lights that I had for the video, turn those back on. So this is a small section where it's kind of dark. I do apologize for that. But overall, my final thoughts on the product, I love it. This cost me $180, and it really is just kind of plug and play. You unplug one wire, you plug the harness back in 2 spots, and turn your key and just program it. It was wicked easy. They do have multiple products available. This is actually the lower end one. And the difference between the low end one and the high end one is really the horn. So with this one, I press the lock button three times to get it to start, and you notice that you hear the horn. So they have one for a base price of $220, where it disables the horn when you're doing a remote start. The problem I have with that one is that does not automatically put that extra menu into your cluster, which seems really weird to me that the cheaper model has a menu, the better model does not. But that being said, they do have the option of renting a programming tool that will add that menu into your system. The problem I have with that is that it was not cost effective for me. Initially, it was $220 for the upper scale model, base price. Then it was $50 to rent the programming tool, but you had to leave a $100 deposit on that programmer. You program your truck, you send the programmer back, you get the $100 back. So it's just $50 to rent it. So $220 plus $50, $270. I was like, you know what? That's only $90 more than the lower end one, so maybe that's worthwhile. I went back to actually pull the trigger on that purchase, and in the meantime, while I was debating what I was going to do, the prices went up quite a bit. I guess these programmers are sending them out, people were not returning them back to them, so they were actually losing a lot of money sending those programmers out. So now it's still the $220 base price for the higher end starter, but it's $80 to rent the programmer and $280 deposit. Now granted, you send the programmer back, you get that money back to you, but that's a lot of money for me just to tie up in deposit fees and wait to get back. So I'm like, you know what, I'm okay with the horn honk, I'll get the 180 version, and you know what, I think it's awesome. The plus side, like I said before, I don't have to worry about extra fobs on my keychain, and I can just use the standard Ford fob. I didn't have to worry about pulling off the column, pulling off the dash, doing all these crazy things with the wires, because I'm not an automotive guy. I'm just your regular everyday Joe, and that probably would have been way too much for me. So if you were in the market, I definitely recommend taking a look at 12-volt solutions. They have they don't have a starter, as far as I can see, for every single vehicle out there, but they do have a handful of vehicles to choose from. So yeah, just take a look, see if they have a product for your needs, and yeah, if you have any questions at all, just let me know down below. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.